Welcome to Two Paths, One Economy, Capitalism and Socialism Explained by Luciano Colombo. There are many interpretations of this question, but the core principles are how society organizes a way of producing, distributing, and consuming goods and services. I've read to think of an economic system as like a playbook. Um, Production, how goods are made and by who. Distribution, how the resources and products are shared among the citizens. Consumption, how goods and services are used by the people. What is capitalism? Capitalism is an economic system in which all material means of production and all economic activities are in the hands of private individuals who are undertaken not for their own sake, but for the sake of profit. The core beliefs of capitalism are private property rights, the pursuit of self-interest and profit, free market competition driven by supply and demand. This system creates a society where private owners control the capital and industry for profit. When the founding fathers of America were designing their ideal economic system, they looked no further than Adam Smith. Adam Smith is considered the father of capitalism, with his beliefs outlined in 1776, the famous book, The Wealth of Nations. Adam Smith and his capitalists have a few core principles, such as the invisible hand. The invisible hand suggests that when individuals pursue their own self-interest in a free market, they often end up benefiting society without intending to. And a good example of this is Thomas Edison. While Edison was motivated by personal success and wealth, his inventions ended up improving life for millions. His drive for innovation, rooted in his own goals, created progress that the entire world benefited from and still benefits from. Features of capitalism: the right to private property, the right to inheritance, freedom of enterprise, freedom of choice for consumers, profit motive, competition, price mechanism, market focus, less role of government. In a capitalist system, these features work together to shape how the economy functions. The right to private property and right to inheritance give individuals control over what they own and allow them to pass down their wealth, which encourages people to invest and build assets. Freedom of enterprise means anyone can start a business, and freedom of consumer choice lets people decide what products succeed or fail based on what they choose to buy. The profit motive. The profit motive pushes businesses to innovate, improve products, and operate efficiently because they are trying to earn more of a profit. This connects directly to competition, which helps keep prices reasonable, quality high, and the options diverse. The price mechanism. The price mechanism is the idea that supply and demand set prices. Also, guides producers on what to make and how much to charge without anyone controlling it. And finally, capitalism involves a limited role of government, meaning markets generally operate on their own unless intervention is necessary. Together, these features create a system driven by personal achievement, market signals, and economic freedom. Here are the advantages and disadvantages of capitalism. The advantages include economic freedom, which means people could choose their jobs, start businesses, and buy whatever they want. Innovation and growth. Because individuals and companies want profit, they are motivated to create new products, improve technology, and increase efficiency. Higher productivity. Competition pushes businesses to produce more and to do it better. Consumer choice. There are many good options for goods and services, allowing people to choose what fits best for their needs. Efficient allocation of resources. The price system, supply and demand, helps determine what gets produced at what price, usually without government involvement. The disadvantages of capitalism can include income inequality, where wealth can become concentrated, leaving large groups between the rich and the poor. Exploitation risks. Companies might cut wages, ignore safety, and harm the environment to increase profits if regulations are weak. Market failures. Essential services like healthcare or education can become too expensive or inaccessible. Short-term focus. Profit-driven companies might prioritize quick gains over long-term benefits like sustainability. Economic instability. Capitalist economies can experience booms and busts, recessions and inflation, and finally, financial crisis. What is socialism? Socialism became popular in the mid-1800s during the Industrial Revolution. Writers and philosophers like Robert Owens and Karl Marx made the argument that a state that practiced the principles of socialism would enjoy a utopian society. The core beliefs of socialism include social ownership of means of production, the promotion of social equality and production for use rather than profit. Socialists argue for collective action over individual competition. Features of socialism: social ownership. Instead of private companies, the means of production are owned and controlled by the community, the public, or the government. Social equality. Socialism emphasizes social equality, believing everyone has fundamental equal worth and society should ensure equitable distribution of wealth and resources. Corporation over competition. Socialism believes people are social and work best through cooperation. This is the opposite of capitalism, which believes that competition and the drive for profit is a more effective way an economy can become great and effectively efficient. Production for use and not profit. The socialism system should be geared towards meeting people's needs rather than accumulating wealth and private profit. The advantages and disadvantages of socialism. First, the advantages. A greater economic equality. Socialism aims to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor, giving more people access to basic needs and opportunities. Universal access to essential services. Healthcare, education, housing, and transportation are often provided or supported by the state, making them affordable or free. Focus on social welfare. The system is designed to support people through unemployment, disability, or old age, reducing the poverty and insecurity. Reduced exploitation. Because major industries are publicly owned or heavily regulated, workers are less likely to be taken advantage of for profit. The disadvantages of socialism. Reduce incentives for innovation. If profits are limited or shared, individuals and businesses may have less motivation to innovate or take risks. Higher taxes. Funding large public programs require higher taxes that usually hurts the middle class. Government inefficiency. State-run industries are less productive without competition. Limited choice. In socialism, central government, consumers' options, or business competition can decrease. Loss of individual freedom. A significant argument is that socialism requires a powerful centralized government to control the economy. This large government will infringe upon personal liberties. Against human nature. Socialism goes against inherent human nature, which could be characterized as being fundamentally self-interested and competitive. Which is more economically efficient? Critics often maintain that socialism does not work as an economic system because it disrupts something called perfect competition. But what is perfect competition? It is a theoretical market condition where resources are allocated most efficiently. In the real world, economies of all kinds, from substance to capitalist, have some levels and kinds of competition. For example, in the United States, there are competitive and non-competitive markets, and the same is true for China, the country with the most efficient allocation of resources under socialist systems. In the perfectly competitive markets, which are in some ways the utopian of capitalist economies, the government has no role in pricing or production. Almost invariably, resources are wasted and innovations that could improve productivity are not made. Additionally, even in these theoretical markets, not all industries function the same way. Some sectors like healthcare and technology often develop monopolies which limit true competition. Capitalist markets driven by the profit motive, competition, and private ownership of capital generally allocate resources more efficiently than socialist systems. Socialism, by contrast, often leads to deadweight loss, where resources are misallocated because production is guided by government planning rather than market signals. Prices may not reflect true supply and demand, innovation could slow, and incentives for efficiency are weaker. This shows why capitalism, despite its flaws, often produces higher productivity and economic growth, whereas socialism systems can struggle with inefficiency and wasted resources. Thank you.